Ladies and gentlemen, and what's up, coaches out there? Thanks for tuning in. Another episode, Rising Coaches Podcast. For the 200th time, you got Alan Major, Doug Caputo here, and we just want to tell everybody, first off, before we get into any introductions or anything, as I mentioned, this is the 200th episode. Thank for all of you to be able to tune in, listen to us. We really do appreciate all the time you spent and being able to listen to these voices for as long as you did.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to all of you out there that jump on and share your lives with us. We hope that this pod is made all of you 1% better, hopefully a little bit more. And we continue to do our best to try to keep bringing you some fantastic people that are going to uplift this profession. And that to us is what Rising Coaches is all about. It's not so much who's rising and who isn't, but how can we raise the profession and make the game better. Rising tide lifts all boats. So we appreciate all of you.
And the real reason you're listening to this right now isn't probably to hear our voices. It's more or less to be able to hear, ladies and gentlemen, we have the women's assistant coach with TCU or Texas Christian University, Coach Nolan Wilson. Coach Wilson, welcome to the podcast. What's up?
Good morning, y'all. Congrats. 200. Let's go.
Man. There you go. 2 bills, man. You're the guy. Let's
Keep
go,
going.
man.
Keep going.
Absolutely.
Hey, and you were selected for 200. Whether it was selected or fell on, but regardless, we're happy to be able to have you on here and be able to chat your story. I mean, I know you have a relatively newer experience, but you definitely have had some great experiences and have multiple stops, some things we'd like to take you back for. So ultimately going back to the beginning, right? You have a playing career, Prairie View A&M University. Okay. Following that, you end up taking into a coaching position and starting your coaching position. What sparked your interest in coaching? Was there anybody who really kind of helped segue you into that? Or was it something that like you always wanted to do growing up?
Yeah. Wasn't something I always wanted to do, but I've been fortunate enough to have very, very positive influences as far as coaches in my life. And so I can remember a very early stage, man, being like 5, 6, 7, going to camps and just really, really being locked in on what the coaches were saying. But like, wow, like these guys are really teaching us the game. I mean, always been around the game. My parents played. And so being able to really, really understand that if I can take what this person is telling me and apply it, I can get better. And so from then on, it was kind of a sponge. And then there was some pivotal moments just growing up. A big women's basketball fan. Growing up in Texas and Laredo, we had the Silver Stars. And so being able to see the Silver Stars play early and Houston Comets, just dynasties, championships. Becky Hammond was my favorite player. And then seeing her become a coach later on, that player to coach transition was really, really cool as well. And then going back, there was a camp in my high school, a man named Caleb Canales. He's a coach, amazing high energy guy. And for me, that was the first moment where I was like, okay, wow, this is possible. This man graduated from my high school, was my brother's JV coach, and then ended up taking a job in the NBA. And I was like, wow, this dude is, I mean, he's the coolest dude in the world. If he can do it, maybe it's possible that I can too. And so from that point on, it was always something in the back of my head. It wasn't something I strived to do throughout my playing career, but I always knew that I had a joy and a passion for it and just knew that it was necessary. Always had really, really good relationships with my coaches. And so I knew that one day it could be in my calling. Fast forward to playing career when I'm at Prairie View, finished my last year. I got 1 year eligibility left. I'm trying to make a decision whether I want to play my last year or transfer. I'll give you a little backstory. I was a walk-on in the SWAC. And so for context, anyone who knows basketball, you're not a high-level player. You're probably not going to play professional. And so I'm getting calls from like D2s, trying to figure out I'm going to play my last year. I'm like, bro, you should probably not go play if you're getting calls from D2s. And so there's nothing wrong with D2 playing, but you're probably not going to continue your playing. And so get to the point of to make a decision. And my head coach, Byron Smith, who played, would always had high-level player development workouts, always had us in the gym working. Just gave me an opportunity to be a graduate assistant. We didn't have a GA when I was playing, and so he created a position for me. And, man, I was just amazing, grateful, thankful for the opportunity. I had a chance to just really, really shadow him. He was an amazing player development coach. He's a Houston guy, and so we go down to Fondren Gym. If you've ever been to Fondren Gym in Houston, you know that it's a place where all the pros come down and you get to kind of see what's going on in summer, who guys are training with, what they're looking like. And so seeing him be able to take the same workouts we're doing at Prairie View and go use it on his pros really made me feel like, this is something I could do, not only for myself, but also help translate it for other players as well. And so that was a big time moment.
Wow. So you had two people. It sounds like Caleb and Byron, like
Yeah.
in terms of guys, like, one influenced you, and then another one literally stood in the gap for you.
Yeah, man. I've just had so many people, just strong coaches who have shown me that it's possible, but also shown me what it looks like. I mean, so you can't do it without help, and you've got to be able to take that and be willing to grow from it. I mean, and they're extremely hard workers, so that was a non-negotiable. Caleb was known for being extremely hard working, and Coach Smith is still known for that. And so that's one thing that was my initiation to coaching, is that you got to go after it and get it.
Caleb, I got to meet him when he was in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he went from Dallas to Portland. I think he's in Canada now.
Yes,
Calgary, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unbelievable dude. We actually got to get him on the pod at some point. He's one of the best people in the business. Like,
just
literally,
amazing, bro. Just an amazing person. Like, so many stories. Absolutely. This guy was my brother's JV coach and would come pick him up for practice at 6 a.m. And just, I mean, selfless, doing it for no reason, bringing LaMarcus Aldridge to camp in Laredo, Texas. No one's ever seen that before. This guy's just doing it all for love, not getting anything out of it. Like, dude loves God, loves people, loves basketball. Just couldn't say enough about him.
Yeah, no, he's incredible. Small world, man. It's amazing how basketball shrinks the world. I mean, we talk for 5 minutes and then here's a common link right there. So that's one of the best parts about our game.
So I got to ask too, going from your playing career to, being a coach now, since you ultimately, and everybody always says they never had any anticipation to be in coaching, which is kind of funny because there's a handful of people who have maybe been on here out of 200 episodes that have said, yeah, I wanted to be a coach growing up. But seeing these coaches that have influenced you at camps and so on, has your perspective from being that player to now being a coach changed?
Oh, 100%, man. Like, night and day. You think it's so easy. You think coaches have it easy. Players, I mean, at any level, players are pretty spoiled. And so we love them, but you don't really realize the preparation it takes to be a good coach at any level, from elementary school to high school to college at NBA. And so, it's just like being a parent. Once you have kids, you realize, like, you call your people like, hey, thank you for doing everything for me. The same way coaching. I mean, after your first year as a GA, your perspective should change if you're doing everything that you should be doing. And so newfound gratitude, humility, just understanding that coaches are, for the most part, very thankless. And so you just understand that it takes a really, really selfless, humble person to be a great coach. And so, man, you just get a newfound respect for them, but you also develop a lot of grace for players from the other side. As a player, you're very, very driven on results or ego. And so as a coach, you can't be. I mean, you'll fail. If you're a results, ego-driven coach in this society, you'll fail. And so you kind of flip that switch and learn how to do things out of love and joy and just abundance and being able to share things and do it for the love of the game. And so you can't bring that same desire to win or competitiveness to your coaching career that you had as a player. Regardless of how much you want to win, you have no control. You can try and you can do your best to prepare, but at the end of the day, you're not on the court. And so you can't approach. And so I had to completely flip my mindset. And sometimes in game, I still do get in that player mode where I'm very competitive, but you can't do it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. What's
I get that.
From the time you started coaching, how many years is this for you now, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I'm going on year 9.
Year 9. So from year 1 to now going into year 9, if there's one single biggest area where you can say you've grown, because obviously there's a lot of different directions those branches are going in terms of how you've grown. But what's the one, if there's a tree trunk area that you've grown the most? Like, what is that in your 9 years from starting to now?
I would say being coachable as a coach. Just being coachable, because same thing as a player, You kind of think that hard work is a solvent to everything, and it's not. Obviously, you want to be efficient. You want to have a goal that you're working towards. And so being a good coach requires the understanding that you're never really arrived. And so for me, understanding that everywhere I've been in is an opportunity for me to learn and grow. And so thankfully, people have been willing to share information, and I've been able to watch and be in those situations that God has allowed me to be in, and where I can take information from other people by watching or by being a part of. And so through my journey, I've been able to just be coachable by either being a sponge in that sense, or by actual reaching out and just having relationships with people who help me become a better coach. Because you're in charge of your own development as a coach. No one's there to help you. It's not the military. There's no necessary ranks that you climb. There's no procedures or protocols that people say, hey, here you go. You got to do this, this, and this to become this, this, and this. And so you kind of just look at people who've done it, you ask, or you just watch, and then you just try to do it yourself. And then if you fail, you kind of figure out why and ask questions. But at the end of the day, like, be coachable as a coach and know that you don't have all the answers and that people have done a long time before you. And so just try to figure it out and be a sponge, man. Like, I will continue to try to be someone who is growth minded, because you cannot stop growing as a coach. You'll get past, and you get comfortable, you will be out of a job quickly.
Yeah, no, for sure. I love what you said there, man. You know, like, I hope people really catch that when they listen to this. You know, basically, it's like hard work's not a guarantee. Like, hard work's the price of admission.
Yeah, that's just bare minimum.
Yeah, that gets you in the door, and then after that, now there's got to be a lot of purposeful hard work that you stack up on top of that, basic effort. But yeah, that's a big one, because sometimes guys think, well, yeah, I'm in the office. I got there at 8:30 or 7:45, 7 a.m. I was in the office all day. It's like, how many guys you seen guys?
It's just like
guys go in the gym.
I'm showing up to practice.
Yeah, or guys come back and get shots at night. Like, I get shots at night, but then you're on your phone, you're on IG for like 45 minutes. But I was in the gym for 2 hours, man. Like, yeah, but you were on IG for 45 minutes, and some of that was like taking pictures of yourself just holding the ball, standing in the gym.
And I'm a victim of that too, man. As a player, like, you think you're working hard, but like, you're not truly working with the end in mind. And so if I can go back as a player and remind myself and help myself, man, you don't need to be in the gym 2 hours. You can have an efficient workout and get what you need to get and be in and out within 45 minutes.
Easy.
So
yeah,
just learning how to work, learning what matters, and what matters in your environment. What's the most important thing? And as assistant coach in my role, what matters most to my head coach. And so that's always like what I'm trying to figure out and what I'm trying to get better at.
I always tried to make, if it was a mandatory workout, I always made a player's voluntary workout shorter than the mandatory. So if the mandatory was, just because if it was 45 minutes mandatory, then the voluntary one would be 30, because I always wanted to, number one, be efficient, do what they have to do, but then I wanted them to leave in the gym wanting a little bit more.
Of course.
As opposed to, like, because I didn't want the voluntary to be like an hour and a half.
And then you don't have the same desire. I think the best thing I've learned from Coach Campbell, Mark, is that you can't want it for the players regardless of where they're at in their career. And so he doesn't make players work out. It's the most amazing thing I've seen at this level. And it's the first time I've seen it, that he truly just entrusts the players to work on your craft. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to expect you how once I've shown you how. But I'm not going to force you to come to the gym before. I'm not going to hold your hand, because I've recruited high character young women who want to be pros. If you say these are your goals, then this is what pros do. And so I'm going to show you what it looks like. Everyone around you is going to do it. The people around you are going to show you what it looks like. And then there's a standard. And if you don't work, someone else will. And so, like, we don't have to have mandatory workouts here. It's a blessing. I mean, we have girls who are in the gym on their own at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. in the summer with our GAs. And so that's just the type of kids that Mark has recruited and over his career. And so thankfully, the joy is there, the desire is there. And when you have players who want to be pros and have an environment that creates a fun, joyful time every time you come to the gym, it doesn't feel like, oh, this is a drag. Nothing should be mandatory. We get to do this.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I got to say the one thing too is you were talking about like people going in working hard, especially going to the gym if they're in there for 2 hours. I feel like now, unless you were and you kind of seen like it through your household, your parents or whatnot, or whoever raised you, a lot of kids don't know how to work hard. They have no idea how it is to push themselves. They go in, they start sweating a little bit. They're like, yeah, I did what I needed to do. And to your point before, like you didn't really do much. You just ran up and down a couple times. I mean, I remember someone told me one time, if you're in the gym for an hour, hour and a half, and you're just chasing the ball around, getting shots up, you're not getting better. And I remember thinking about that in like middle school and then going into high school. I'm like, I didn't register with me, but no, it completely makes sense now. So what is like, what is your preparation process essentially now looking like? So as an assistant coach, you're going into a big game or, you know, whatever game. We'll say it's ultimately your scout for that game. What is like your preparation for, at least for you mentally and personally, what does your preparation process look like for going into games?
Yeah, man. I had a coach here, I want to say it was the assistant from Alabama, talking about having all the answers to the test beforehand. I thought that was great.
Brian Adams. Yeah, that was really good.
That was so cool, man. Like, that's what you want to feel like. You walk into a test, you want to feel confident, you want to feel prepared. But more importantly, you want the girls to feel prepared, the players, your head coach, because once again, we're not on the court. And so how do you get all the information necessary to make them feel prepared, be able to communicate it to them in a way that is digestible to this generation? You don't need a bunch of information. Coach Campbell's really, really good at getting what the meat and potatoes is and putting them in front of the players, in and out, whatever they need, they're going to get it. They understand what they need. They understand what the players do well. They understand what we're going to do well, and that's it. And so that's a really, really good outline as far as how we scout. Me personally, as far as how I scout and how I prepare for my scouting reports, as well as just the on-court stuff. So we'll start from a scouting perspective. You always want to be prepared regardless of what the situation is. 4 or 5 games, I like to study 4 or 5 games ahead. I just watch full games. And so you start off going with the full games. Clearly, you're just clipping everything, going through, labeling stuff. I like to go label stuff as I'm going through. Also drawing plays, common sets as you go through. One thing I like to go through is just go through and see the roster, see all the weird little tendencies, everything, details as far as the players, just tendencies, personnel, everything. And so whether that's where they're from, what coach they played for, what their previous stats were, before I even watch the games, I'll go through the roster, just see anything I can, any valuable information. As I'm watching games, I'm drawing sets. Usually, if you're familiar with the team, you're familiar with their identity, you kind of know their actions. If you're not, then you're going through and just labeling every single action. For example, this year, I was new to the Big 12, and so every scout was new for me. And so for me, I was really, really going back and studying previous years from TCU, as well as what worked in the last game they played them. And so it's always keep it simple, keep it the same. If they worked last year, there's no need to change. And so let's go back to last year, see how we played them last year. Going into this year, you want to study all their tendencies, be able to know their main sets, 4 to 6 sets you want to be able to show on court. You want to be able to have the other ones in the back pocket just in case, but players don't need to know more than 4 to 6 sets. I mean, that's majority of their base offense. You want to have some ATOs, some specials in your pocket just in case from the last couple of games. You want to go back a couple of years for end of games. Coaches are creatures of habit the same way humans are, and so it's always fun. Nothing's more exciting than knowing that a coach has only ran the same 3 end of games for the last 3 years. So,
Exactly.
and that's okay, because sometimes it works and coaches don't study that, but sometimes people do. And so you just want to be prepared. It's so simple, man. There's no secret formula to scouting or anything. I think just being a true sicko and being extremely prepared and knowing everything that's going on, and knowing the why and being able to communicate the why. For us, we're a pick and roll team. And so obviously you want to know what their coverage is going into the game. You want to know why the hedge. You want to know who's not good. You want to know who you're attacking. You want to know what offenses have worked against their defense that are similar to yours. You want to know what stuff that they've allowed that's easy to score on from their offense, as far as where they help from, what their weaknesses are. It's simple, man. Like, you just want to be able to expose anything that is a weakness within their game. You don't need to give all that information to the players, but giving it to your head coach and letting them decide what they want to use is always great. My head coach my previous school gave me a great lesson when I was younger. Never let your head coach be surprised. And so, I mean, as much information as possible, I want them to have it. And so they're going to know what they ran the last 5 blobs from the last 5 games. Even if they weren't successful, my head coach is going to see it. Slobs, they're going to see it. We don't need to show it to the players if he doesn't think it's important, but you don't want your head coach to be surprised. And so just be overly prepared. Shoot, I like to even look at the jump ball diagram. If they like to do something tricky to jump ball and steal that first play, I'll have that prepared just in case. And then you can get really specific if you're a coach who does stuff on the court with your players. I like to have those specific shots that we're going to get throughout our offense incorporated in individual workouts. Clearly, we always do that as a team because that's Mark's philosophy. Everything we do is game-like, and so we're getting game reps in shots in practice. But for the kids who like to get that extra work in season, let's say you've got an individual workout. One, you're going to know who your matchup is beforehand. Usually, if you're a primary ball handler, you're probably going to be guarded by the other team's best player, and so we're going to see their defensive tendencies, what makes them a great defender. We had a beast of a defender in our conference last year, JJ Quinterly, and so she's in the W now. And so seeing her tendencies beforehand, just for example, like, you want to be able to prepare your players the same way you prepare your coaches, because they're the ones who are on the court. And so this is how they guard. This is how she plays in pick and roll. This is her tendencies when she's on offense, where she likes to score from. You'll see all that on film, but you want to have that one-on-one conversation and really, really dive into it with the players. So they feel prepared. You want to put them in situations where they're getting shots in game. You want to be able to put them in situations where they're seeing the reads that they're going to be seeing in the game, where the help's coming from, where the coverage is coming from, who the weak defenders are, who we want to attack on the switch, different stuff like that. And so just having them really, really prepared. Obviously, if you're a coach who has synergy or instat, you have the benefit of seeing shot charts as well. And so you can go see where the other team's defense allows the most shots from if you want to get really, really detailed and have your players hunt zones when it's coming from certain areas. If you have isolation, you know who the weak defenders are, who to foul. Just little details. If the players care to know about it, I mean, we live in a world that has unlimited information, so it's great to have all that stuff if you want it. Don't have to, but it's just good to have just in case. And so you just want to be prepared, man. I think that's the biggest thing. You don't ever want to go into a game with a loss and knowing that you could have done something better, or knowing that you could have been more prepared. And so that's kind of like what it looks like as far as my preparation for a game.
Yeah, that's great stuff, man. We all had that when you first start coaching and you first, start getting into scouting, that look, like they run something in a game and then the head coach is pacing up down the sideline. They turn and give you a look, it's like, coach,
flipping through your scout like,
coach, I just think they put that in, or whatever it is. So, but no, I love, that's a great phrase, man. Never let your head coach be surprised. And what I love about what you said is you're constantly on the balance beam of detail without overload.
Yeah.
Right. That's the balance beam that we have to kind of manage in scouting. What's a balance beam? I think it's only 4 inches wide, right? Like in gymnastics.
Wow.
But we have to stay on that balance beam as coaches, to make sure that they get the detail that they need, but they don't get overloaded, because Jerry Tarkanian, rest his soul, I think he's passed away. Pretty sure he has. Had a phrase, UNLV, the more you give them, the slower their feet get. And so
you don't need to be.
They're thinking exactly right. So you got it down, man. I mean, you got a great approach.
That's Mark, man. Mark is a great job of simplifying everything, and that's my biggest growth area, and that's why I'm glad to be on his staff, because he's a great teacher. And so I like to joke that he could teach basketball to a 5-year-old. Like, that's just how he talks, how he teaches the game. And so when you're able to break it down to its simplest form, you don't need all the information. You just want to give them what they need.
Yeah.
Well, and especially, it sounds like, I mean, everything you just went over was completely thorough. Like, that was in depth and great. And you could tell all of this, especially as a young coach, you've learned a lot, like in the steps that you have been. And the great part is, I was noticing this looking over your history before, and I was like, he has been in Texas for 90 to 95%, except for Washington, right? Except for your last stop. Everything else, Prairie, going to Prairie again, Rice, Dallas Mavericks, TCU. So you've at least been relatively like staying in the area, which is pretty nice that you don't have to move across the country all the time.
I'm a Texas boy. I'm truly
a lot of Whataburgers in your history, man. A lot of Whataburger. That's the
that's the official burger for post game dubs.
Whataburger. See one of those on every exit, man. I lived in Austin for a year, so
I love it, man.
Yeah, Whataburger everywhere.
So to be able to catch all of that, though, I mean, everything that you just went over is, like I said, it's so in depth, so thorough. Coaches that I've worked for before, they would spend, I mean, for a game, say on a Wednesday and it's a Monday, they would spend hours just for that one game. How many hours would you say you have put into just one game in particular?
Who knows, man? I don't really count hours. I just like to get lost in the process. Like, if the game is on a Monday, I want to have the scout done a week ahead of time. And so, man, who knows, man? It's hours. You don't even count.
A lot of time.
Yeah, it's days.
A lot of time.
It's days versus hours.
Yeah, it's just when you're passionate and when you're kind of in that mode of what you're doing and you're just trying to get better, like you're not even looking at the clock. And like, I don't know, man, like a lot of hours. I would say like a lot of hours.
You know what's fun about it, Nolan? Like the thing I loved about scouting, and when I was with Coach Mata at Ohio State, like he went to the kind of coordinator thing. So, same voice, for offense, same voice for defense. And I did our defense, but like it became a game to me. And then so it becomes fun.
It is.
But then what happens is like every game that you watch, every game tells a story.
Mm-hmm.
So from the time you first hit play to the time you turn it off, there's in that 2 hours or however long that game goes, there's a story that unfolds.
Yeah.
And the way this team plays is telling you, they're talking about themselves. The way they play, they're giving you their personality. They're 100%. Giving you how they act when things are great. And are they whooping and hollering, or are they, front runners? Yep. Or do they weather storms well? Right. So like that's the part that I enjoyed. Like, how do these teams act?
Yep.
And as opposed to, you got the X's and O's in there too. But the fun part is figuring out the story. And then the story that they tell you through scouting helps you tell the story to your team.
100%. It's crazy, man. Like to be able to watch, and clearly I'm so young in this and still want to grow a lot, but like you realize that players are people and the game is such an emotional, unpredictable thing that you really get to see true character in games. And so I could watch and figure out a lot about a kid just through adversity, through conference, through games and season. It's so fun. And so you get to communicate that to players. You like to find weakness in other teams and see who gets frustrated when they get pressured, see who gets frustrated when they turn the ball over, see who gets frustrated when sitting in the corner and haven't touched the ball in 4 possessions.
Exactly.
See what bigs get mad when they don't get the ball. Like those are things that you can kind of communicate to your players and give a competitive advantage. Like if you're really, really competitive as a coach and you have players who are competitive like that and they care about that stuff, and it gets them going.
It's the best, man. Yep. Y'all look, the last 3 times at the last 8 minutes of the game, but you hit them with a 6-0, 7-0 run, they're not getting up off the mat.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. Like you just know, like there's a certain point, like what do we got to do to get them to their breaking point?
Yeah, our team does a great job of understanding that too. Like I think we had a really, really mature, emotionally intelligent team. And so Mark does a great job of fostering a competitiveness of us together versus everyone. And he has a shirt that he wears called Frogs versus Everybody. And so once we're in that game, like we truly feel like we're in a war and it's us versus the world. And so like we're going through it. It's really us versus everybody. And so the scout feels like this is like a preparation for battle. And so, yeah, like you want to feel prepared, man. So, yeah, it gets me excited. It gets us all excited and we're passionate. We all love our jobs. And so we just want to make sure that the girls feel as prepared as possible when they're going in a battle.
Yeah, no question. Love it.
No, that's great. I mean, is there a way that you guys keep, because the number one thing that, I mean, everybody always says is make sure you keep practices more competitive. So then once you get into those games, to your point, then you're coming out just swinging at the next person. Like, is there anything you guys do that kind of makes those practices more competitive?
Yeah, for sure. Mark's gifting is understanding that players need to compete against each other to really, really get the most out of each other. We don't use scout guys. A lot of women's basketball programs use scout players. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think it steals reps from the players who need development. And so while you're using scout guys, those players, basically 6 through 12 or 14, however many you have, are waiting. And so great thing is we've got a very, very strong, connected, deep, competitive group. And so it doesn't matter 1 through 12. You're going against a really, really good player. And so everything we do is statted. Everything we do is chartable. And so we've got coaches who watch and study practice throughout the preseason all the way up until November. And so we watch film of practice, we study it. And so we're going live a majority of practice after we're done shooting. We shoot more than anybody in the country. And thankfully, we've got a facility that supports that with amazing NOAA and shot tracker. And so we stat everything. And so there's no hiding, there's no numbers. And so if you're a competitive person who loves to shoot, loves to get better, and wants to see, this is the place for you. You understand that I can see my numbers. I can see my assist to turnover ratio after practice. I can see how many missed box outs I have. I can see how many blow bys I gave up. I can see how many defensive transition opportunities I messed up. You can see everything, and we communicate it with our players. And so there's no room for confusion. Mark does a great job of understanding that the players all want to play. They all have individual goals they want to reach. And so we drive that by making it extremely competitive in practice, playing a lot of live, but then setting everything like a game. And that way, when it comes to October, we've played a bunch of games against each other. And so we feel pretty good about who we're going against.
Well, and they're not quite as beat up, maybe just because, again, when you're using scout guys, sometimes those practices can go longer because you've got to sub people in to go against the scout guys too. So you have your first, 1 through 6 or 1 through 7 on one, purple team, and then your other, 8 through 14 on the white team. Well, you've got to kind of mix them in to get reps against the scout guys. So as a result, that might be a 2.5-hour practice versus you guys can be in and out in 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Yes, sir.
By going against each other. So they over the course of, and then you're not going any longer. You can go 2 hours in the fall.
Gives you energy and time to come back for individual workouts, and shooting is what the players enjoy doing most.
Absolutely. And late in the year, you're going an hour. I mean, you're on the floor for, by mid-February, late February, you're in there for an hour. You're in and out 45 minutes, or practices become aggressive shoot arounds in a sense. You have some live, get up and down some, but you fresh as daisies come, Big 12 tournament time. Minty. Let's say that. Yeah. Minty. Yeah.
No, I don't know if you can be fresh, man. No easy games in the Big 12. I don't know.
No, well, I guess as fresh as you can be. Yeah. Given the alternative.
Definitely. Yeah, we don't want to be banged up. We've got a super amazing medical staff. And so she kept us healthy all year last year. We had one of the longest seasons playing kids 35 minutes plus in our starting lineup. And so availability is truly the best ability. Realizing that you don't need to practice for 3 hours as a coach and as a player, you think when you're in the gym for 4 hours, like, oh, this is what it's like. You realize the players don't need to be there, nor can they sustain a high level of basketball for that long. And so it's better for everyone to just be efficient with your time and get in and get out, and then reconvene later when they've got some energy.
Yeah, which is that you just hit my point on, like, always leave them wanting more. So when that voluntary, like, they come in, get their work in, all right, good, we're done, see you later. So then it's like you still leave the gym feeling fresh and not beat up. And like I said, this is a game, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want them to have fun,
It is a
and
child's game.
it should be fun. It should be fun when they're walking in. They should feel excited about the fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they leave, they should be excited about the fun they just had.
Yep. And TCU, man, like if you could see these facilities, the stuff that they have.
Oh, I've been there.
It's like a playground, man.
No, you guys, no.
Everything. And
that's
so
a low key.
Player, how do you not want to play in this? You got recovery, shooting, treatment, weights, all that, all
food.
Food. Yeah. Don't get me started, man. That's the best part about working.
Yeah, no. I'm telling you, Nolan, that's a low key hidden gem in terms of, I'm talking about in America. Yeah. That spot there is, you drive on that campus, man, you're like, wow. Oh my God. Big time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the other thing too, that I feel like everybody, we were saying before, kids don't necessarily, or athletes don't necessarily know how to work hard. And then once they learn how to work hard, they don't know how to recover. I mean, the amount of times, or just like after you go through a tough workout, more than enough times, some of my guys will go in, they'll hit the cafeteria and they'll come back with chicken fingers and then a bunch of different French fries and crap. And it's just like, but then tomorrow they're going to have a terrible day. Yeah, I don't know why I'm having a bad day today. It's like, you're going to put diesel into your car,
Come on, bro. I mean,
you had pound of ranch dressing with those chicken fingers, man. Like, damn,
You can't eat I call it the AAU diet, man. The chicken fingers and pizza or the basketball camp, you're not eating like anymore. And our kids are educated. And I mean, this day and age, coach, is like, if you're still eating like that, you just don't care. If you're a player who has desire to be great, one, you're going to be educated. Two, where everyone's on social media, on your phones enough to have whatever app you use, your For You page should be in sync with what your goals are or something. And so it's going to be showing you how to eat like an athlete, how to train like an athlete, how to basically do everything. And so the I don't know how to phrase, if you're at this level, is kind of getting played out. Like, we're going to show you how, but there's also unlimited resources for you if you really, really say you want what you want.
100%.
No doubt.
Yeah, you can't
still got to give kids grace, and they're still kids, and so that's our job to coach, is to help them, show them, and continue to help them. They haven't truly learned until we've taught them, and sometimes they slip up, and that's our job, and that's what we get joy to do.
You just dropped a Lute Olson gem right there. We had his grandson, Matt Braze, who's an assistant with the Sixers.
Oh, wow.
And he said Lute Olson used to say that to his staff at Arizona every day. You haven't taught until they've learned.
Yeah, it's true, man. Yeah, I've been grateful to be around a lot of the best teachers of the game from everywhere I've worked. Everywhere I've worked has been teachers. And so trying to help the kids understand at the end of the day is what you're paid to do. And so it's our job.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, and it's great to be able to, like, well, I guess let me say this. So kind of going back to when you guys were talking about the campus, I personally have not been to TCU. I mean, I've seen pictures of it, and obviously, you can speak. Oh, I would love to. I mean, we were down in San Antonio not too long ago for the Final Four, but then obviously that's it's not TCU. But let me add, like, other than that, the campus aside, like, what's a big culture piece or culture builder that you guys have done? Is there anything that you guys do to kind of like get the team more camaraderie, the coaches, all of that in the preseason, off season?
Yeah, our team is huge on sharing meals together. I mean, just being present. We've got, once again, I keep saying this, but it's huge. The people are the most important thing. Mark does an amazing job of evaluating who we bring into our locker room. And so when they get here, it's very clear what our standards are as people. And so we have very, very little drama. And so that way we're able to have a bunch of relationships and a bunch of community early. Kids get here. I mean, it was a recruit visit that we had that was an international kid, and there was 2 other freshmen who had just got here. It was their second day on campus, and you could not tell them apart from as far as best friends that they've been spending time together for the whole life. Like, we just break bread immediately when they get here. We try to be with them, spend time with them over meals. Our girls do a great job of getting outside of themselves and spending time outside of their areas. And so We rotate groups. The girls have small groups that they'll go out with and have lunch together or have dinners. They're little pods throughout the city. And so we've got so many different food options. And man, we go out to eat probably more than anybody. We just eat so much. And then pregame meal, even during the season, we don't do it traditionally where we're just sitting down, a little buffet style, everybody getting them water, eggs. Like our head coach likes to take us out in the city. And so we'll go to different breakfast spots in Fort Worth and eat. And so it's always cool because then it's game day and people like everybody decked out in TCU, people coming out showing love, talking about Go Frogs. And it's just super cool, man, like being a part of the community. You really do feel like, oh, this is where we're at. Like people recognize us. They know us as people. They love us. They want to support us. They want to see us do well. Man, like you can't drive through Fort Worth without seeing TCU flags. And so that's a huge thing. It gives you a different sense of community, knowing that every time we go out to eat, people are showing us love, regardless of where we go. And that's a huge thing for us.
Yeah. No, that's special, man. Like I said, I had a chance to step through there, and it's a hidden gem. That's the best way I can describe it. It's because you guys got a phenomenal location, beautiful campus, incredible academics, facilities off the charts. You got an athletic department that cares. It's important, not just they just don't want football to do well. They're not just focused on football. They want across the board. They want every program to do well.
Mm-hmm.
Guys got the whole package there, man. Really do.
And then from another standpoint, just spending time, man. Like, how do you build culture? Like, spend time with kids. Like, really be present with them. Find out what their goals are. Everyone here came here for a reason, and so we've got amazing young women. Like, we get to spend time with them, just hang out with them, be present with them, find out what their goals are in life aside from basketball. Take them out. I always talk about food. We go out to eat all the time. We take them out individually as coaches, one-on-one, and just in the gym. I mean, you don't shoot the ball as well as we have, thankfully, for the last 2 years without spending ridiculous amount of hours in the gym. And so we love being in the gym with our kids because it's what we get to do. And so we all love hoops. And so food and basketball is really the center of all of our everything.
There's a classic phrase, how do you spell love? Time.
Yeah. Thanks. And we try to just be present with our kids, man. And Mark does a great job of like, you got to model it. And it's not easy because in this day and age, like we're getting pulled in everywhere. College basketball is crazy. And so they got to see us with our families. We bring our kids in. We have our families around. My son comes to practice. Mark allows that. His daughters are always around shooting. He's working them out in the afternoons. And so it's cool. Like we have a true family environment. A lot of teams talk about family and we break every day with it, but it's really, really family. When I'm able to bring my son in after school and he's able to stay in here from 4 to 8, and I know that he can wander off and he's going to be in the gym and one of our girls is going to be in there shooting, watching him. And so that's the culture. And we don't have to talk about it every day. People just show up. We're not asking kids to come in and shoot for 2 hours in the middle of August. It's just what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one thing to have it on a bunch of T-shirts and splattered on the wall in the hallways, but if you live it, you don't
got to say it.
Yeah. People feel it. Recruits come to campus. They feel it. Mom and dads, they really feel it when they come to campus with their kids. I mean, that's the most powerful display is not a T-shirt, but real life. So
thanks. Yeah, man. We try to live it every day, and we're not perfect. We're just trying to grow and be who we say we are. 2 rules: work hard and be a good person. And like that's it. If you can do that every day, then you fit her.
Yeah.
Well, Coach Wilson, to take everything just completely full circle, right? Starting from the beginning and then bringing you to where you are now. And there's a lot more growth. Sounds like a lot of the things you have learned are going to be carrying forward with you throughout. And then soon enough, I'm sure there's going to be that HC in front of your title with that head coaching title. So, but obviously enjoying where you're at the time. If we take you back to where you initially started, right? Prairie View, just if you could give yourself in that first position any advice, what advice would that be in the coaching profession?
A couple of things on 2 sides. You have to always remember your why and continue to remember that throughout every part of your coaching journey, because like I said, this can get tricky if you're a person who doesn't have an anchor. I'm a person of faith. And so I always remember what God has allowed me to do, that this is a game that I get to coach. And so I would say always have a why that's bigger than yourself. For me, that's my family, that's my faith. Obviously, that's who I provide for. And so I want to please them when I do my job. And then you want to be able to know that you bring value outside of just your profession as well. You got to find something. You got to find habits. You got to find hobbies, because this game is up and down. It's fickle. Winning does not solve everything. You can have a 34-0 season and still be miserable. And so find something that brings you joy and passion outside of your job. Thankfully, my job is my joy and passion, and it is what I wake up excited every day to do. And so I could not imagine a day that I'm not doing this. But some people don't have that. And so find that for you. And so as a young coach, you got to be able to be coachable and find people who model the life you want to have as a young coach, because people will tell you the life you're going to have if you don't do a good job. This industry can be very hard. I haven't figured it out. I don't know what I'm doing, still trying to figure it out. But I like to think that I've tried to watch really, really high character people maneuver their way through with honesty and hard work. And so try to find people who you respect and admire for their character and how they treat people, not their accolades, and not who they've worked out with or who they have trained with or what is on their logo. Just try to find high character people who have been where you're trying to go and are willing to share that. And if they're not willing, that's okay. You can just watch. There's no secrets in this game, and anybody can do it. And so I just think continue to have a why and be a person of character. And yeah, we're not perfect. Just try to be kind and don't worry about what people can do for you, and don't ask for people. Don't ask things of people. Just try to be a good person and bring value to every single situation you're in and be present. That's literally it. That's what I try to do every day. So if I could tell myself that at 21, graduating, taking my first GA job, is that just continue to do all those things. It's not easy, but hey, we try.
Yeah, well said, man. Well said. I like to say your why stands for what hypes you. WHY.
Oh, that's what's up.
And if you always know what hypes you, you'll be fine.
Yep.
But yeah, you're a classic example of, like some people in this profession, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And what's came through and shown through about you in this pod, it's clear what you stand for, what you're about. The program is crystal clear. What makes TCU tick, what makes Coach Campbell tick. So, man, I just want to say thank you for coming on. Obviously, kudos to Coach Patty at American for connecting us as
She's
well.
awesome.
Yeah, she's the best. But listen, man, this has been, speak for Doug as well, but just been a blast to have you on here, and just you really lifted the hood up under TCU and shared what that program's about. And special, man. Is Sedona still there, or did she move on?
Sedona is on her way to Greece, man. She signed a pro contract. She'll be playing in Athens, Greece.
Good for her.
Yeah, man.
If you get her a chance, tell her Coach Major said hello, because I spent her freshman year was this year I spent in Texas.
Oh, amazing.
Was her freshman year. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, man. Talk about just people.
No, she's amazing.
You have no idea what these players are going through as people. And so I'll just say that, these players are people. The world will call you one thing. The world will say one thing about you. God says one thing about you.
She's a pioneer. Quiet as kept. She's a pioneer. In terms of some of the stuff that she's planted the flag in for women's basketball. A lot of people don't know that. Doug, I don't know if you remember during COVID, then they were showing the different workout situations for the Final Four teams, or during the NCAA tournament, and men's teams were having these nice facilities, and then they showed, where some of the women's teams, it was looked like a high school, workout situation. And she brought light. She was one of the people who were bringing light to some of this stuff. It was really amazing. She's one of the most courageous human beings I've ever been around.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
That's great.
Anchor for our team, man. Amazing.
I believe it.
Amazing teammate.
Yeah.
It's always good to have somebody like that. And I mean, hey, you were saying before, you can have an 0-32, but as long as you have good people. Well, I got to say with TCU though, you guys obviously don't have that problem. I know
that 32 is going to be on the other side. Yeah, that 32 is going to be on
it was
the other
34-4. So, but nonetheless,
with great people in the locker room, made it even better, man.
Even better, I'm sure. No, and honestly, like Coach Mage said, thank you for sharing everything. I mean, taking the time with us, and you guys have a great thing rolling. It's definitely, we're looking forward to seeing how you guys progress from 34-4 and keep taking that next step. So thank you again. And for everybody out there, thank you again. I will say, as we did in the beginning, 200 episode, Coach Nolan Wilson, appreciate you for being on here and everybody listening. Another episode of the Rising Coaches podcast. Alan Major, Doug Caputo. Keep working. Keep rising, coaches. We'll see you all soon.
Yes, sir.